About 5 years ago, Danny DC97 became the first ever NEF1 champion for Ferrari around this very circuit. Ferrari have failed to claim a championship since then. Now, Squidge 2017 has a chance in that Ferrari at Season 10. It's funny how things come full circle. Hello everyone and welcome to round 17 of the NEF1 Championship and what very well could be the championship decider of Season 10. We are here in Brazil at Interlagos for one of the best racing circuits of the calendar year, and Squidge 2017 has 9 fingers on that trophy. All that's missing is 3 points to be declared NEF1 champion of Season 10. His first championship, very close to becoming a reality. And here we are on board with Squidge coming out of the pit lane and onto the track for his first outlap of this session. The Constructors' Championship is on the line. That is a little bit trickier to win this afternoon, but it can be done. The gap is about 26 points, if I'm not mistaken, from Ferrari down to Mercedes, and then a couple of further points to Alpine. So the championship can be won, but we'll do the maths after the race just to see how things stand. These things can be altered for the Stewards Report, obviously, but our main focus this evening is going to be on that Drivers' Championship. Tess still the only one mathematically in contention, but he is holding on by a thread. Squidge then is a very quick outlap around here. Mac has actually beat him to the line. It's a very quick outlap to start your flying lap. And now we're on board with Mac is through the San S's and onto that best overtaking point of the track. Probably heading down to turn 4 to be. At a circuit where we've seen back and forth racing throughout the years. Very good racing and very bad racing. One trend we have noticed these last 2 game cycles though is that you do not want to pull an overtake off into turn 1, as you'll be taken right back heading down to turn 4 or 5. That might even be 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have the position taken away right back heading into turn 4 if you're overtaken into turn 1. So that's a trend that we hope to see broken on this game with a bit of better defense, but it is a circuit that is very DRS dependent, and where the DRS is very powerful. Mac is going to be first to come up to the lines. Very fast lap around here, about 1 minute 10 in terms of lap time, so this race is going to go flying by. We're going to see a sub 10 immediately. We see a 1:10.1. We're just about to have our first sub 10 though, and it's not even close to a 10. So 1:07.5. Marcus didn't appear to put a bad lap in. My goodness, 2.5 seconds off Squidge's pace. So that man is very dedicated this week to claiming the championship at Interlagos. Here we go then, his teammate who's going to want to have a decent performance as well to secure the Constructors' Championship for Ferrari. So 1:08.958, not quite good enough. But he'll have another opportunity behind Reina, behind Holman, and behind Ray as well, crucially, who's in the Alpine. Racing Bull just hanging on by a thread mathematically, but they massively have to outscore Ferrari to even stay alive for next week, so we can almost count Racing Bulls out of the championship fight. As for the 2 Mercedes, Tess and Iwatt, close in contention for the Constructors' Championship. We'll wait and see how that transpires. But Tess coming up to the start-finish line. And it's going to be a 779 for Tess, 2/10 of the pace of Squidge 2017. Iwatt comes through for P11 just behind Jamar. What matters right now though is that Alpine looking strong. How strong is Matty going to be looking here? He's won the last 2 races around this place. He's won 3 out of the last 4 races around this place as well, winning back in Season 6, Season 8 and Season 9, not participating in Season 7 mind you. So this is a driver that's very competent around Brazil, which he's just about to demonstrate. Marco in P2, ahead of Tess, 107.744. And this is an internal battle between the two for P2 in the Drivers' Championship as well. What a season Matty could have had the start just been that little bit better. Max has massively improved his first lap time to 108.920, place him on par with his teammate. Up at P10, Mac is a driver who has had a significant upswing in terms of the second half of the season. So on board van with a BT this week in the Chrome McLaren. I believe the Hasses were going to be running a special livery as well. Running the greyish anniversary livery there. Looks really, really good, Mr. Wilco's car. 200th anniversary livery. So then, Mr. Wilco on the start-finish straight. Recon his teammates in the pit lane along with most other people. We have no MP4 on the check in P5. Mr. Wilco in 7th, Djokovic in 8th. Ray doing a very, very good job so far this session up into P6. As Djokovic's come through for P5, a 108.244. Djokovic remaining winless over the last almost 2 full seasons now, but got a podium under his belt this season. Crucially enough, has got a podium in every season he has participated in. The win streak, though, was broken last season out and looks to be continuing to be halted this season as well. A season that has proven significantly more difficult for Djokovic here in Season 10. As for some of the newcomers to the league, Holman has put in one hell of a display on occasion. Mr. Wilco, not a newcomer this season, last season indeed, but a driver who is much, much improved since what we saw last season as well. Mac is returning to NEF1, has been impressive on occasion. Reina has massively outperformed himself on a couple of occasions. Very, very up and down form on Reina. Then we have Luna, very, very fast on her day. A little bit incident prone every now and again, but very, very exciting to watch. Recon has been brilliant as well. We have had a lot of surprise podiums this season, and I'm sure we'll go over that when we're introducing Season 11, which is bound to happen the way it always does. Hopefully hosted by myself and Mattis. Keep your eyes out for that or any other Season 11 news. If you were interested in joining NEF1 for Season 11, then let us know in the comments down below, or press the link that's at the bottom of our Twitch page to join NEF1. If you're a current driver, all you have to do is give me a little DM to make sure you're all signed up and have your seat confirmed as for next season. So then Reina out on a fast lap, coming up to the Sector 2 split. How much is it going to be able to improve his time by in that Sauber? Sauber is currently sitting 8th in the Constructors, but that doesn't tell the whole tale of the season, even though they're still technically lingering at the bottom. Squidge has improved even further, up to 107.4. Mentally quick time, and Reina's coming into the pit lane. What should be said, we have two very distinct bottom teams in this season, that is Red Bull and McLaren. Then Sauber very much at the back of the midfield pack, ranging all the way up into 5th place. So 8th through 5th is one big Constructors' Championship battle. As Luna's massively improved up into 8th place on 108.430, a second slower than our current pole sitter. As Ray's going for a push lap in that Alpine. His teammate currently on an out lap. Noah currently on a fast lap potentially. Looks like he might be coming up to the line in just a moment. He's coming into the pit lane actually. So then a bit of traffic to navigate, which isn't going to be the most fun thing around this particular track. We're more than halfway through qualifying right now. But traffic is going to play a factor, especially in that last minute, as Ray just takes a little bit too much curb there on the inside of the hairpin, and that is going to lose him a significant amount of time. A couple of thousands down. You would imagine then that is Ray into the pits at the end of this lap and ready to go again. No, actually electing to stay out, maybe just gaining a little bit off that final corner. He does improve by 2 tenths, so that's a massive gain through that final corner. Wow, what a gain by Ray W25, and imagine if he can just scrape off that mistake in the hairpin. Another couple of tenths off. He is very much up there competing with Matty and Tess potentially on pace for this race. Absolutely competing with Noah, by the look of things, and Djokovic. So here comes Ondrejek across the line and taking the shortest run to the line, and P5 pushes Ray down a spot, 108.108. And Ondrejek, who has been a bit eclipsed this season by Noah 48 in the latter half, who's been better. Ondrejek 1 race win this season, if I'm not mistaken, coming in Saudi Arabia early on, has given him a lot of points. Noah has been very, very solid though, not reaching quite those heights. As Matty can confirm that the race length is set to the proper amount. So here we go then, Tess on what would be his second to last attempt at a pole position lap this evening. Well, it actually won't be, it's a very, very fast in lap. Never mind, it's on a 107.560. Okay, so he's competing right there with Squidge 2017, just didn't see him come across the line. Djokovic now in P7, Iwas has placed himself in P8. So that's a very, very good effort from Iwas there in the Mercedes in his bid to do whatever he can for the Constructors' Championship. Nibiti currently last of the field, half a second down in P17 is McLaren. Test then into the pit lane. One of the pit lanes that can catch people out in terms of speeding. So that's going to be one to watch out for as well. Those 10-second time penalties. Yeah, those 10-second time penalties are brutal. So much. Yeah, double check that lobby. Yeah, it's a 50% race and a short qualifying session, so everything is going to be in order. It'll be the first time I got the race length distance thingy wrong in the lobby settings, which I'm very glad I haven't. Luna, 108.430 fast lap time so far on the run. I am anxious to go on with Ray as soon as he comes out of pit lane for his final run. So yeah, one of the Ferraris out. I think it's a bit early for Squidge to go out. Is that potentially Jamar coming out a bit earlier? No, that might actually be Squidge heading out very, very early. 4 minutes remaining. 107.472 is the time to beat Luna. What is she going to be able to do in the Red Bull in the second to last qualifying session of the season? No, actually, that was Jamar heading out of pit lane, not Squidge. Just wasn't able to go on board with him. We have is that a Red Bull or Racing Bull coming out? You can never tell, unfortunately. That is one of the Racing Bulls of Noah 48 coming out of the pit lane. I would love for that car to be in white instead, but it is what it is. So then we have Noah out on circuit, we have Jamar out on circuit. 2 drivers involved in the Constructors' Championship fight, and we're getting a couple of more out on circuit right now. ABT's out on a lap, it's not a competitive one. And along with that, we have Wiggin coming out, Mac is coming out, and Reina coming out on circuit. So then, here we go. Noah 48 just about to cross the line to start his probably last flying lap of this session then. For the Brazil qualifying, crucial to get these NSs right. If you get them wrong, it's a couple of tenths of a second lost. If you get them right, gain 1 or 2 tenths of a second quite easily. Noah looked to have gotten them very, very good indeed. Might have been able to maximize the line just a tad bit more. Here we go then, full commitment through this right-hander. You want to keep it flat if possible. Not quite. Downshift and a lot of revs, but very, very controlled into the next right-hander. Followed by the left-hander. Want to get in the power as early as possible. Not drifting too wide, not losing the rear, which is very easy to do that. Then you want to avoid the very upmost inside part of that inside curb whilst you're going flat out to the penultimate through the penultimate corner and down into the last braking zone of the track. It's a 3/10 gain at the moment by Noah. You see him right up there if he had a good exit to maybe even challenge Tess, Matty and Squidge. Here we'll wait and see. Noah's about to come across the line. Was it going to be for the Racing Bulls? P3 just behind Tess. Squidge now is on a lap. He is going through the NSs. What is he going to be able to produce as a means of first sector? Here we go then. First sector split is coming up and Squidge is improving by 4 thousandths of a second. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 4 thousandths on a perfect lap is a lot. So Noah is done through this qualifying session then. Squidge 2017, let's see what he's going to be able to do through the second sector. That is significantly longer, all time basically, lost and found through the second sector. Very, very good, very controlled, coming into the next right-hander then. Hairpin, final tricky corner of the circuit. Beautiful on the exit, early on the power and through the sector 2 split. What is it going to be? Is it going to be an improvement of 2.5 tenths of a second through the last corner? Oh, and that is beautiful by Ferrari because look who's in front of him. It is none other than SFLY Murray giving him a righto to the start-finish line. What is it going to be for Squidge? 107.1 to potentially seal pole position. Tess is not improving through sector 1. Needs to be improving by 4 tenths of a second through these final 2 sectors, and that is near impossible. Tess, is he improving through sector 2? No, he is not. It is not going to be pole position for Tess on this day. P2 is all he's going to be able to do, if that, because Matty Adam is coming up to the scene. P4 at the moment, just a couple of attempts behind Noah and Tess. What is he going to be able to do? He's 6 tenths off pole position right now. He is 3 tenths quicker than his previous best. That at the moment would place him on the front row. Needs to get a good run down to the line though. Needs to conserve that battery in order to have full power all the way down to the line as to not lose any time. Matty Adam comes across the line. P2 107.494. But it is a qualifying masterclass from Squidge 2017 with the aid of his teammate as well to secure pole position here in this Brazilian Grand Prix. And that is going to be the starting grid for Brazil. Squidge with a superb qualifying lap, almost into the 106s, followed by Matty Adam and Tess on the front row, second row of the grid. Noah alongside him. Underchecking P5, Djokovic in 6th place, not going to be improving on this lap. Ray in 7th place, wasn't able to improve by a significant amount. Jamar in P8, followed by Wilco in 9th. Now Holman has actually moved his way up to P7. Jamar in 9th, Wilco in 10th, Iwat in 11th is not going to be improving on this lap, no. Emrain in 12th, Luna in 13th place, Wiggin in 14th, Mac is P15, Recon is 16th, and ABT with a very difficult session down in 17th place. But what a lap from Squidge 2017, and time to absolute beauty along there with his teammate. So then Matty did everything he could. He secured himself a front row start give himself the best possible opportunity to maybe just snatch the lead heading down into turn 4, as long as he can have a good run through the SS. But pole position was very much out of reach for anyone but Squidge today. Tess in P3 then, very, very solid qualifying position for him, but he'll have to pray for an absolute miracle in order to keep the championship alive heading into Abu Dhabi next week. So then, there we go. 3.5 tenths of a second in the qualifying gaps this season just seem to increase. Matty in P2 doing everything he can, but it wasn't even close to enough. Tess in P3, followed by Noah, Ondrzejczyk, Djokovic, Holman, Ray, as far away J. Martin, Mr. Wilco as your top 10. Crucially then, Alpine, both decent qualifiers, both Ray and Matty are up there. Worryingly for Mercedes, Iwatts would have to find himself another couple of positions in order to really be able to bring this constructors fight to a decider, but we shall wait and see. It is very, very tricky to win the championship as it is, so we'll wait and see what the race holds in store for us. That is coming up in a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. Brazil, one of the best races on the calendar, is coming right up. Okay then, we are on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix, where Squidge has just begun his formation lap on the road to becoming a one-time NEF1 champion. Matty Adam lines up alongside him, the most successful driver over the last couple of years around this Brazilian GP circuit. Can he challenge Squidge 2017 on race pace today, whilst no one could on qualifying pace? Can Tess do anything about Squidge's championship aspirations? It's a very, very tall ask, but we have seen drivers make mistakes around this very corner. Just one season ago, we saw Undercheck crack under pressure here. Can Squidge hold on to his cool? Can Tess somehow create a miracle in Brazil? Noah and Undercheck, can they stay alive in the Constructors' Championship battle? We shall wait and see. It's looking difficult for them, but it is not over until the fat lady sings. And Djokovic, can he make anything well of this season? Can he get over the 100-point mark? He will be desperate to. Holman, can he continue on his strong form? We have a teleporting Williams. Keep an eye on that. Ray looking for another strong result here once again, followed by Jamar, both of them desperate for a Constructors' Championship result. So is Iwas down in P11. Mr. Wilco has very much impressed over the course of the season, looking to do so again. And Reina starting a little bit out of position, so is Luna, P12 and P13, followed by Wigan, who's had the most difficult season in the F1 to date for himself, looking to have one good points finish to see out the season, followed by Mac is Recon, and ABT also with his toughest NEF1 season to date. Everyone is lined up on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We have 36 quick laps worth of racing action to decide a winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix and to crown ourselves an NEF1 champion. Here we go, it's go time at Interlagos. We have 5 red lights, and it's lights on, away we go, and Squidge does get a very, very decent getaway. Matty has an even better getaway, and he's gonna have the inside line going into the Senna SS. Inside line means a little bit slower, and Jamar has left the session, not retired. We'll give him an invite right back as soon as we can, but Matty forces his way through down the inside of the Senna SS and takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Can he hold on to it into the braking zone? Yes, he can. Holman, 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, gaining 2 places. Not going to be able to be reviewed after the race. It will be served in the pit lane, but Matty comes out victorious of this start. Squidge in P2, Noah in P3, followed by Undercheck and Ray in P4 and P5. And Rain has had a brilliant getaway on his mediums, up 6-7 positions even. Wow, what a start from Raina. What a start from Ray. Tess has had an awful start, by the way, somehow down into 17th, and the job he had in front of him has gotten significantly harder alongside with Jamar and Djokovic. Did Djokovic and Tess maybe then get entangled in something? I do not know. We will just have to get Jamar an invite back. As I'm recalling, he's not going to be on this list, is he? He's going to be on my other one. So just give me one very brief moment. As there we go then, Matty maintaining the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 2. We have a couple of cars in the pit lane, as Djokovic and ABT. Tess had a really bad start. He is desperate to just catch up now. Jamar's down to 14th place and still ghosted. So we'll see what could that do for the implications for the Constructors' Championship. Right now, Alpine are in a brilliant position. Mercedes, very, very little so. With Iwat, the only Mercedes in the points, he's scoring 6 of them right now versus Ferrari's 18. Alpine, though, bringing in a big points haul off what is currently 25 plus 35 points, which would see him right up there for the finale. So then, Matty versus Squidge. How heavy is the DRS effect going to be? We have no MP3 as well, who's going to be desperate, still looking for his first race win in the F1. Could that come here at Interlagos, which has provided an upset or two over the years? Here we go then. Squidge rounds the outside of Matty Adam, who's not going to be able to do too much about that one. Tucks in behind the Ferrari, and Squidge retakes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix in lap 3. Matty can't do too much about it. Noah just trying to hang on at the moment, trying to stick with these two that just have the slight pace advantage. How is Tess getting along? 2 seconds behind Jamers, 3 seconds behind the nearest car, but he's back in the lobby. Hopefully he can just reclimb his order a little bit and go again. Zywat struggling to maintain the advantage with Emrena and Ray, which is going to make him very, very vulnerable to attack in a couple of seconds. There's quite a late detection point coming out of the final corner. Can Iwatts somehow make it? No, he can't, and now he's going to be vulnerable to overtake here from Mr. Wilco and potentially Luna as well. So then, Mr. Wilco is going to have a move down the inside, maybe into turn 1. No, thinks better of it. He'll fancy himself maybe into turn 4 instead. Fruvus and Esses, though, quite hard to follow around there, which Mr. Wilco would have just experienced. That has cost him quite a bit of time, Mr. Wilco, not being able to follow through there. Should have gone for it in turn 1 instead, as Matty's reclaimed the lead, and I think we're going to see this from Matty and Squidge a significant period of times now. This switching of the leader we've seen so many times over the last couple of seasons in the F1 that is, well, thoroughly unentertaining racing for the lead. So then, Mr. Wilco's had a decent getaway. Iwatts and Emrena have had brilliant starts to this race. Having a look at starting tyres, very, very split between mediums and hards. A couple of people haven't made pit stops as Djokovic and ABT. So then, is Iwatts going to be able to somehow defend himself from this? Then I think Mr. Wilco has decided that turn 1 is the place to overtake potentially. Now Luna and Holman potentially as well. Iwatts losing 3 positions in one straight there. Holman forcing his way by Luna as well. It's a brilliant move. Luna just getting by Iwatts. Is going to try to come back at her with a bit of defensive or attacking DRS on the next straight. That's a very, very fast Red Bull in a straight line though. Iwatts has to remain in P10. Bad to worse for Mercedes then, but very, very decent overtake from Mr. Wilco there. Quickly deciding that into turn 1 was the place to overtake. But now we have a train from P1 all the way down into 6th place. Then we have a train from 7th all the way down into 13th. We also have a Tess, by the look of things, who isn't able to extract any pace out of that Mercedes right now. Losing time right now on both Jamar and Mackers. And as we can see that there is a very, very unhappy Mercedes at the helm of Tess by the look of things. New tyres going on lap 4. Is that a front wing change potentially as well? Just a bit of balance. That is Tess out of this race, retiring out of pure frustration. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, in the least spectacular fashion that we have ever seen in any F1, we have ourselves a new champion in any F1. But we'll get to crowning that a bit later. But it is then decided. Matty and Squidge now battling away for the lead of this Grand Prix. Noah, Honorcheck, P3 and P4, and that's huge for the Constructor Championship. No attempt at a fight back for Tess there after a really bad start. That's huge for Mercedes, who are likely to see themselves fall out of championship contention in that Constructors fight. So then, Squidge jumps by Matty once again, P1, P2, P3. That battle's still ongoing. even though the stakes have been dramatically reduced. But the stakes weren't all that big in this race to begin with. Mr. Wilco is running in P8 behind Holman and Emreina. Emreina's now settled into a bit of a lonely race, but that could be a very, very good position for that Sauber to run. A Sauber desperately needing points. Unfortunately, Emreina losing his teammate a little further than halfway through the season, which was very, very difficult to replace, and having to go at it solo for these final couple of races, which has massively impacted Sauber's constructors' standings position. But Emreina right now doing whatever he can to make sure that they don't finish last in that little pack. Little switcheroo there between the Racing Bulls as well, and Ondercheck is right around the outside of Matty Adam on the hard tyres, and if that planned, with maybe the hard tyres now being in a better operating window than the medium. 7 laps into this Grand Prix. So then, Ondercheck and Matty having done battle around this place for the win of the Grand Prix 1 season ago then as well, and it's a 10-second time penalty for Emreina for corner cutting, and that is one of those things that the game just triggers for whatever reason very, very easily. That has ruined Emreina's race. No positions gained, no time gained by the look of things really either. The game's just decided to hand out a 10-second time penalty that we will be unable to remove after the Grand Prix. We can only hope, really, that he's able to serve that under a safety car or virtual safety car. Because those types of penalties, that's Emreina into the pit lane immediately on lap 9. Luna, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, helps equal it out a little bit as well. But what is Emreina doing? Just trying to find a little bit of a compromise. Hard tyres going on. That penalty not being served on that first pit stop. Just curious, is he then going to try to carry these tyres to the end of the race? 26 laps on a set of hard tyres. Seems a very, very long way to go. But if he does, then that penalty is subject to removal, which might actually be the beneficial strategy for Emreina here. I wonder if there's something to it, that if you pit on the lap that you get the penalty, then it doesn't trigger or something like that. Something to be investigated for sure. It's curious that it wasn't served. I'm glad it wasn't, because that means we can actually have a go at removing it. Should it not be warranted, but in a situation like that I can't imagine a reason why it would be. So Matty Ondercheck is now made his way by Squidge 2017. So now it is Matty and Ondercheck for the lead of this Grand Prix, and the hard tyre seeming like a very, very good race tyre early on here in this race. Mr. Wilco, Recon and Wigan all doing very well on them. The Watts, a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And at the end of this race, I have a feeling that we might see Mercedes out of the championship battle mathematically as well. It all falls on Jamar now as well, because Alpine are now having really their own way for the Constructors' Championship fight. Squidge, now technically champion, needs to mind himself here for the Constructors' Championship battle as well, as to not make it a wide open battle heading into the final Grand Prix. Both Squidge and Jamar will want at least one hand on that trophy heading into Abu Dhabi in a week's time. That right now, though, is wide open. Ooh, that's a little snap of oversteer from Squidge that has to just make a mini correction. Nothing major, but here we go. Ondercheck versus Matty Van. Hard tyres versus mediums. Those hard tyres providing significantly more grip at this stage of the Grand Prix, but oh, he almost loses it, does Ondercheck. Just keeps it in line. Whoever right now, Squidge is struggling in those mediums. Dropped the position to Noah 48. The Constructors' Championship battle is getting very, very interesting right now. Ray W25 next up in line. He is going to be very much interested in pushing Squidge down another spot here. Sonderjek now in lead of the Grand Prix, and who out of these guys going to be first to pull the trigger on this little train on a pit stop over to potentially set a hard test and to try to make it to the end of the Grand Prix? Not going to be Matty, not going to be Noah, not going to be Squidge, and not going to be Ray. So still we go for another lap worth of racing here then. Matty not able to get close to the back of Ondrejek, who now has started to just pull away a little bit. We have something going on for Recon, who's pitting off hard tires. It's only 11 laps old. So it's an interesting move at Recon going into the pit lane early here. What is going on? Medium tires. So it's absolutely a two-stopper then for Recon. Is it going to be a two-stopper for a majority of the field? It's my thinking. I certainly hope it will. So how is Reina getting along on those hard tires? Seemingly quite well. Squidge really is suffering with a couple of, I'm not going to say performance issues, but some sort of pace issues. Not able to really stick with the front three of Ondrejek, Matty and Noah at the moment. It's a Racing Bulls 1-3. They're doing everything they can and more to keep themselves in the Constructors' Championship battle, and they are doing so right now as well. A massive points all if they can keep this result up. Squidge has got to mind himself here. Just be careful to not start over pushing the car and just force himself into a bit of a mistake. As yet, as I have seen that DM as well, just haven't been able to respond to it. Should be worth mentioning that DNF by Tess was through technical difficulties on his equipment side. His wheel has been struggling a little bit previously this season, and now started rearing its ugly head again, which is why Tess did retire in the pit lane, unfortunately. It's a sad end to what has been a very, very good championship battle and a very good championship defense from Tess, just not quite successful, but it is so hard to defend any F1 title. No one has ever done it previously, and that streak extends on into season 11 at least. We'll wait and see, but thank you very much for the entertainment this season, Tess. Has been brilliant to watch. As here we go then, Squidge pits from P4 on the grid. We have a yellow flag caused by a McLaren, I think. What is going on Squidge's car? Wigan pits as well on his hard tires. It's hard tires going on Squidge's car. So then an undercut attempt by Squidge 2017, who didn't really have the pace on the mediums there at the end as soon as those started wearing out. So now we're going to have a look. Ondrejek, Matty, Noah and Ray. How will they respond? Two teams that can really separate themselves a little bit. Does one maybe try to go for the two-stopper? Need to last a couple of more laps here in order to make the two-stopper viable. Right now, 22 laps on a set of hard tires for Squidge. To be fair, that's doable. It's doable, but it's not easy. This race is coming at you very, very fast, though. As Matty's now lost touch a little bit with Ondrejek here, desperately trying to get into the DRS detection point, but he is unable to do so. Which is going to leave him a bit vulnerable to Noah behind potentially, but he comes into pit, and Ray comes into pit. Both champion. Oh! That is close by Ray. Has to take avoiding action of the car ahead. But he actually handles that very, very nicely, drifting towards the outside just to make sure to not tap Noah up the rear, triggering an instant penalty for both of them. New tyres going on then. Medium tyres for Noah and hard tyres for Ray. Squidge, where is he going to come out in comparison to them? Wow, the undercut is powerful around this circuit, let me tell you that. Okay, Squidge 2017 is going to be a problem for anyone who is yet to pit, because that is an undercut worthy of about 2.5, 3 seconds almost over the course of a single lap. That is absolutely mental. But we have spots of rain in Interlagos, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to massively shake things up. Squidge, the best driver in the rain, but now potentially a pit stop behind. Honor check, Matty, do they come in right now, or do they stay out another lap? Will intermediate tyres be needed if the rain remains very, very light? This is going to throw one massive spanner in the works for the Constructors' Championship, and I am all here for it. Squidge hitting a couple of laps too early off hard tyres if these conditions will remain. Ray and Noah should have kept their cool as well. Mac is coming in straight away, you would imagine, then for intermediate tyres, but I think it's just a bit too early. So then, Mac, is it intermediate tyres on Varas and Martin? Yes, it is. First one to do it, whilst getting a new front wing on as well, but we'll see how these intermediates perform. I think it's just a bit too early, but you can already see the grip difficulties for Undercheck, but especially Matty, whose tyres are a bit more worn down. Undercheck then, massively quicker than Matty in these changeable conditions right now. Is Matty going to try something? Yes, he is. Comes into the pit lane. The end of lap 17. Got to be careful on the pit entry. He is. Mr. Wilco comes in. And Reina, is he about to come into the pit lane as well? No, decides to stay out. The last thing he wants to is come into the pit lane, have to serve that 10-second penalty, but he might not have a choice. Matty onto the intermediate tyres. How is that working for Mackes at the moment? It is working well. He is eating up the advantage that Djokovic has. He has absolutely made the right call by going on intermediates at the time that he did. Did Squidge respond and do the same? No. What Squidge has done here, ladies and gentlemen, is make an absolute hash of the strategy so far in this Grand Prix. We'll wait and see how quickly Matty's on the back of these cars just ahead of him. That's Luna, Ray and Noah. Not going to be able to put up too much of a fight by the display we just saw with Mackes and Djokovic. And intermediate tyres are now starting to come on a lot of these cars. I was speaking earlier about wanted to see some changeable conditions in Interlagos. I would have preferred it starting with a bit of rainfall, but who doesn't love a bit of changeable conditions around the Brazilian GP circuit? Matty, has got to be itching to get by Luna here as fast as he can, but he's got to mind himself to not overtake in the situation where Luna can potentially lose control of that Red Bull as well. Such is the difficulty. Luna into the pit lane then. Matty, DRS still in effect, but Matty is absolutely gonna have made the right call here and will storm, you would imagine, into the lead of the Grand Prix. Has Ondrzejczyk been able to keep it tidy on this lap? Not quite tidy enough, and Matty holds the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Ray and Reina and Squidge still out there. The problem for Squidge now is he didn't pit yet. Is the rain just about to gloss over potentially quite quickly? Is Squidge just going to try to hash this period of the Grand Prix out? Because Matty's going to be on him in less than a lap's time. He's not going to have any interference by Ray as soon as he comes up to him. And Reina's not going to be able to do anything. Squidge has just found himself a pit stop behind the race leaders by a couple of bad strategy calls here, unless the rain was to suddenly stop. Even then, it's a very, very risky play the Squidge is going at the moment. If nothing else, this is giving us one hell of a finale. Squidge is staying out still. Ray comes into the pit lane, intermediate tires will be going on, and Reina staying out as well. Ray, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane is everything that he didn't need. So Matty now is going to absolutely fly past Morena, and he's going to be right on the back of Squidge by the time we get out of this corner, basically. And Recon gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not being able to slow it down is the name of the game right now. And Squidge of the circuit, and that is going to be Matty into the lead of the Grand Prix by a significant margin as well. It's a 4-second lead over Ondrejek, and the man who is so good around Interlagos is being so good right here again. Oh, but those kinds of mistakes are gonna cost you heavily, especially when you have an Ondrejek. Oh, to be fair, Ondrejek doing the exact same thing around this circuit that looks like an absolute ice rink. Now though, he's gonna get by around the outside of Squidge. Surely Squidge has got to seed those hard tires. This isn't gonna gloss over. It doesn't look like it's gonna gloss over anyways, and is losing upwards of probably about 10 seconds a lap right now with Squidge. But Squidge still is staying out. What is going on with the Constructors' Championship battle still ongoing? What the fuck is Squidge doing? And Reina, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The race has gone from bad to worse for Reina, who's now going to be serving a 10-second time penalty while still having a 10-second time penalty. It's not going to be served. What? I don't understand why that penalty isn't being served, but I'm very glad it isn't, because we can still have a look at removing it then. But I have no clue how that is. Matty Adam 98 from Ondrejek, a 4.3 second gap. Then Mr. Wilco in P3 has played this strategy to perfection as well, followed by Squidge in P4, who's very soon about to be overtaken by Ray, who gains on him by about half a second per corner. If that's actually enough, might be over a second per corner at this point. And we have Noah right on his heel as well. But then, it's a very comfortable situation right now for Mr. Wilco. All he has to do, keep it clean for the remainder of this race. He has a big gap down to Ray and Noah in 5th and 6th, with 15 laps to go here. Squidge surely has got to now seed, do a recovery drive on a set of intermediates, but surely cannot right now stay out on these tires. That's proving a danger. He's staying out still. He is losing 10 seconds per lap right now, Squidge. For some reason, still electing to stay out. What on earth is Squidge doing with the championship in the balance still? The Constructors' Championship in the balance. And Tess is going to be sat there right now screaming that he's not in this fight still, because Squidge is doing everything he can to lose this Grand Prix. Matty is doing everything he can to hold on to this 5-second lead, and he's doing it beautifully. Mr. Wilco, 10 seconds of an advantage versus Ray. A Ray who's very likely to get entangled in some sort of battle with Noah at the moment. Marcus is up to P6, having a beautiful race. Luna's going to be up to P7 at the moment, and Jamer is soon going to be the leading point-scoring Ferrari this Grand Prix. So the championship is very much swinging around right now, with Alpine right now. I don't know if they'd even be able to claim the Constructors' Championship lead with the results staying the way they are. I think we can confirm, though, that the championship for the Constructor side is not going to be won today. Such is the nature of the race that Ferrari is running at the moment. P8 and P9, and more is to come. Squidge, is he staying out again, or is he finally going to be seeding coming into the pit lane? Finally, for Squidge 2017, inside the pit. So then, whatever gamble the Squidge took really did not pay off. He finds himself way outside of the points in P13, 14, 15. Is he even going to end up in P16? No, not quite. But he is second to last this Grand Prix now. has a very, very big recovery job to do to even be able to claim a point here. So Ray right now is hunting down Mr. Wilco and is actually doing a very, very solid job of it. The problem is he has the 10-second time penalty to contend with. Mr. Wilco is in a dream scenario right now. Matt is in a dream scenario. Ondracek for the Constructors' Championship is also in a dream scenario. The problem is they're not outscoring Alpine. And with the amount of points Alpine are scoring right now, my question is Racing Bulls, even with this result, still mathematically going to be in contention after this race? We'll have to wait and see until everything's been finalized. As for Squidge 2017, it's a set of hard tyres going on and not intermediate tyres. So as for Squidge, everything's just gone wrong. What I'm now thinking as well, should Squidge get pissed off enough to retire, for whatever reason, it'll be a points deduction, which means he's not going to do so. But it would be a championship points deduction that would open up the championship, if I'm not mistaken, to continue on into Abu Dhabi for a championship decider, which means it's absolutely not going to happen. But what has Squidge's race come to? What has Squidge's race come to? Or is he just enjoying the moment, winning the championship in the least spectacular fashion imaginable? He is a character that could definitely be doing something like it, but bloody hell, man, you have a Constructors' Championship to think about as well. If nothing else, I would imagine there's a certain Canadian in P8 right now who's just a tad bit annoyed with the whole situation. Mr. Wilco right now, I'm not going to say struggling on those intermediate tires because he's keeping pace relatively well with Ondracek, but Ray is flying on this current pace. Has that 10-second time penalty to contend with, but on this pace, he might actually be able to pass and clear, but it'll be very, very close. Noah is not able to gain anything on Ray right now. It's a circuit that's not pouring down, but it is very, very, very intermediate conditions indeed. Miss Squidge going to be coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap, hopefully for a set of actual intermediate tires, or at this stage, he's very, very close to being lapped soon. He has been lapped, has Squidge actually. He's been lapped by Matty Adam 98. And right now it is a Matty who's getting very, very close to almost securing as well a P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Squidge coming into the pit lane to, you would imagine, switch on to intermediate tyres. This driver is very, very, very fast in intermediate conditions as well, Squidge, but he's, let's just say, created an uphill battle for himself. He's about to be lapped by Mackers and Luna as well. And any chance of points for Squidge 2017 on this evening is basically gone. What could be seen here as well is that this equals itself out with Tess not being able to finish the race. But then you have 2 Alpines and 2 Racing Bulls up into the top 5 that are going to be bringing home a massive points haul come the end of this Grand Prix. And they are only going to be focusing on winning that championship. It's the only thing remaining to be won. But for Matty, there's a 3rd win of the season on the line. What could have been a 4th win of the season as well, had a certain rule been implemented for the start of the season that could remove 3-second time penalties. We couldn't that day, and Matty tragically lost the win in Saudi Arabia, which he had very much earned. But he took that in the best possible way and has responded with, in my opinion, maybe his best NEF1 season to date, barring, actually this might even be better than his championship winning season, just given the competition that he is facing. Matty has been superb over these last 3 quarters of the end of this season. He's been absolutely fantastic, and he is being absolutely fantastic here in Interlagos again. So then Ray has already caught up to the back of Mr. Wilco. He's flying on a set of intermediate tires. Noah's not able to keep up. What is Squidge doing? He's 42 seconds behind Wigan, who is in second to last place. So I think a points finish for our good friend Squidge here is next to impossible right now. I believe he might actually be suffering blue flags on his own teammate quite soon. What he has to do now is re-overtake Luna in order to actually be able to make any progress here. Which is not the easiest thing to do in the game without getting a penalty. You have to be significantly faster to re-overtake and disappear down the road. Ray now within striking distance of Mr. Wilco. 10 laps to break out 10 seconds worth of time. It's not impossible, but Ray has one hell of a job to do, but he needs to get by, and he needs to get by fast. So then, where's he gonna make his move for P3 of this Grand Prix? And how hard is Mr. Wilco going to fight it? I would imagine relatively hard. Zai Watts then picks himself up 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings. Haven't seen too many of those around today. As Ray now within that dirt, yes, just starting to struggle a little bit more in his pursuit to overtake Mr. Wilco. So that's going to be a bit more tricky. As any chance of side-by-side action we had for this Grand Prix, which was very much entertaining for the first half of the Grand Prix, disappeared with the rain, and it's become a very different race in total. So then, Djokovic on the back of a BT for what could be a points position come the end of this Grand Prix. A BT will be desperate to claim that points position as well. He is very, very decent in the intermediate conditions at the track. It looks like it's just starting to dry out a little bit. Is that the case, is the question. If so, is it going to dry enough for dry tyres to be used towards the very end? The intermediates right now, definitely the tyre to be on, but how long is that going to last? Seeing almost no rainfall now, which does open up the door for a bit of a different strategy now. I believe this is what Squidge was holding out for. He would have seen that the rain was passing, because the rain has now stopped by the look of things. But with only 7 laps to go, will anyone actually pit for a set of dry tyres? Someone is in that pit lane. That is Wigan, who's on a set of medium tyres. Very, very fast. Mr. Wilco and Ray going right into the pit lane. And no, Mr. Wilco with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's everything he didn't need, and it might have cost him the chance of a podium here. Mr. Wilco, soft tyres going on. Ray has to serve that 10-second time penalty, though. Is going to be ever more so costly. See who he ends up behind. Medium tyres going on for both Ray and Macus, who is should have been able to jump. But that type of release as well shouldn't be able to happen according to the game settings. As Macus, both Macus and Ray struggling out of pit lane, and Macus has been disqualified from this session for blocking the pit lane exit. Such are the difficulties now when you're coming out of the pit lane, that it can disqualify you for any incident, even if they are not by choice. Matty's staying out. Is Onracek going to be coming in, or is he going to be staying out here? He is coming in for 6.3 seconds, and no 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Noah, what is he going to be doing? He is going to be coming in as well. Matty, he should have 1 lap in order to get out ahead of these guys. but he will have to pit, you would imagine. How much time is he going to be losing? Soft tires going on for Undercheck. 6.3 seconds is the current gap as Matty came into the pit lane. How much quicker is that soft tire going to be at a circuit that dried very, very fast? Luna staying out for a lap as well is actually massively going to help out Matty in his quest. How quickly then is Undercheck going to be able to make his way past Luna? The circuit still looks very, very damp. 27.4 is the current gap to the leader right now. Those intermediates seemingly actually a very, very decent tire, but is Matty wisest to just match his competitors in strategy here? Yes, he is. He comes into the pit lane, can't afford a 10-second time penalty, just avoids it by the look of things. He's cutting that very close. As Luna's actually able to take time off Undercheck on that opening lap. See if she stays out for another lap. She decides to come in. Marcus, unfortunately, from this race for blocking the pit exit. Which I'm not a massive fan of the game doing that easily, but it is what it is. So then Matty coming out very, very clear of the battle behind them. He's actually gained time by the look of things on both Luna and Undercheck. So Matty, with the way the race has evolved, is very likely to take the win of this Grand Prix. Now Luna, is she actually going to be able to hang on for a podium here? From Undercheck down to Recon, there's a 10-second gap. Recon on intermediate tires as well. He is holding Noah at bay right now. Luna might be on for her first podium in an NEF1 tonight. It would be a massive, massive display of strategy, if nothing else. Everything still to play for. We have 5 laps remaining. Squidge has come in for a set of soft tires as well. I think it's safe to say he was just waiting for that rain to stop. Just didn't stop quite quick enough. Luna, is she staying out? Is she coming in? She is coming in, and that's a bit unfortunate. I think she would have just been able to hang on to that, especially with the penalty that Recon has as well. It's a 16-second penalty. I think Luna might have just thrown away a podium here with a couple of laps to go. I don't know, though, where she's going to come out. She's going to come out behind Noah, if nothing else. And that's probably gifted a podium to Noah. Gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings. And we have someone off. We have Djokovic in the grass in Sector 2. I think Luna might have just thrown away a podium there by making that strategy call. But it is impossible to judge. She would have had to fend off for a couple of laps drivers with penalties. Then it's impossible to say or to say how bad those intermediate tires are going to be in 1 lap time. Because now it's quite evident to see that the medium tire to be on instead of the intermediates, but the intermediates are still performing valiantly. Les Noah's just taking it very, very easy. Behind Noah. Oh, it's such a shame that for Luna, because I think a podium would have been on for the Red Bull driver. Instead, very well could be a P5, a P4 with penalties, maybe even more if she can catch up to the back of this pack in some clear air. But that is a podium, most likely, that has disappeared. That second podium slot is likely to be occupied right now by Noah. So then Matty's about to conclude his 33rd lap of this Grand Prix, and it has been a race that he has driven masterfully. A BT 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane has retired from this session out of frustration potentially. Everything going so far off his way that it is crazy this season. And Matti has extended his lead to 13 seconds. As there goes Noah past Recon on the intermediate tyres, and Noah now in the driver's seat for this podium. What would have been, though, almost 10 seconds still up to Luna over 3 laps might have been doable, but it would have still been difficult. What a shame that Luna did not try to hold on to that, but we'll never know the results of what would have been. Luna, though, still very much in the hunt for P4, maybe even P3 if you can clear this traffic and clear it very, very fast, because Noah does have that 3-second time penalty. Can't add on to it, then it could still be a debut podium or a an initial first podium for Luna. And as for Ray, he has fallen off rather significantly in this drying out phase. Just got that call a little wrong. Should have stayed out a lap or two longer. I think Ray was one of the first to come in, wasn't he? Has been on those tyres for a bit longer than a couple of hours. 5-6 laps. It's about where Matti was. Came in a lap later. So here we go then. Luna on Mr. Wilco. Mr. Wilco defending aggressively towards the inside. Luna forcing away down that inside of us. An absolutely courageous move. That was aggressive from Mr. Wilco. Luna just does whatever she needs to get that place. And now on to Recon, who is 2.3 seconds up the road. She's gonna be coming at him quite quickly. But no one not quite able to shake Recon that fast. I think Luna would have been on the podium had she not made that strategy call. I'm quite certain of. What I am absolutely certain of is that Matti has driven this race to perfection, nailing every single strategy call, just staying out a little bit, waiting for the rain, worked out to perfection. Coming in a lap or two later when it transitioned over to dry has given him an advantage of 17 seconds as we're entering the final lap of the Grand Prix. And the final lap of this championship, it has been a race, maybe the worst race of the season for who is now the champion of Season 10. What was going to be, by the look of things, an impressive display of pace from Squidge turned into a strategy disaster, but it will not matter. Matti has only a couple of more corners to go now before he can call himself a race winner once again at Interlagos, and what a feeling that will be. He is recovering everything he can for Alpine, who take a massive swing back this weekend to Ferrari's championship lead. Matti Adam is gonna come through for a brilliant win here at Interlagos for the 3rd consecutive year. He cannot be beaten here. Matti Adam takes the win of the Grand Prix. But on this day, that unfortunately for Matti does not matter, but he will know why, because he's been in this situation before. It's been a very, very long way getting here, and it's been a long, hard way fought. Squidge has battled through everything. He battled for an entire season with Tess last season out. He's battled with Tess and Matti for this entire season. He came to Brazil looking like the absolute man to beat. It turned out to be a strategic disaster class, but it does not matter, because Squidge is 100 meters away from officially being champion of NEF1, Season 10 champion. Squidge 2017 smashes it across the line. We have a new NEF1 champion. His name is Squidge 2017. It's Ferrari's first championship since Season 1, and it's coming back to Scuderia Ferrari, and for the first time in Season 2. It's heading back to the admin team as well. Squidge 2017, what a season. Unfortunately, I can't say what a drive, but what a season and what a championship it has been. Massive congratulations to the man, such deserving of a championship. As we can see there, Matty takes home yet another win this season, and that has opened up the Constructors' Championship battle incredibly for Abu Dhabi next week. You do not want to miss out on that particular fight. It is going to be entertaining like nothing else. We have Undercheck in P2, we have Noah in P3 with another podium this season, and Racing Bulls might have climbed their way back into contention with that result. We'll wait and see after this race to see what the mathematics will be coming in to Abu Dhabi. We'll let you know before we get racing in Abu Dhabi next week. Squidge 2017 then wins the championship. He does it in the most unspectacular fashion in any F1 history, but what a season it has been. And there it is on your screen, confirmed that we have a new champion of any F1. Squidge 2017, it's just been dominant this season. None more deserving in Season 10. Big congratulations. Now we are on to next week. And next week, the season finale in Abu Dhabi. The Constructors' Championship battle is on the line. So everyone, stay very tuned for that one. It's going to be incredibly entertaining stuff. Congratulations once again to Squidge 2017 for the championship. Congratulations to Matty for the race win. We will see you in a couple of days' time for the championship finale. Until then, I will see you in a little bit of time. Have a good one, everyone. Stay safe and peace out.